Fight fans, what's up with you? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. What's up to the fam, man? Salute to everybody, man. Salute to everyone over there in Mainman Mademan Boxing Forum over there on Facebook. If y'all want to check us out, man, we going to have the link in the description, so check us on out. It is going down, fight fans, and said to be official December the 11th. We got Conor Benn going up against former WBO champion Chris Algieri. It's going on in Liverpool, UK, so it's going to be something, man. How do I see this fight? Well, it's an okay fight. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it about a 7. You know what I mean? It's like what it is if you are a fan of Conor Benn and you see this fight, you're going to say to yourself, this is another good fight in the progression of Conor Benn. This is another good fight in the development of Conor Benn. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Algieri is a former world-class fighter. I see Eddie Hearn in interviews is going around saying stuff like Chris is currently a world-class fighter. No, he's a former world-class fighter. At the end of the day, just because at once upon a time you were on the world class, and if you got booted off the world class level, that means you didn't belong there. But however, I don't got a lot of bad. I don't want to have bad stuff to say about Chris Algieri. You know what I'm saying? He's a good fighter, man, and he does a lot of good for the sport of boxing. But at the end of the day, Conor Benn, man, you know, if you're a fan of him, you're gonna say this is good for his progression. You look at his trail of names. He's fought cats like this Sebastian Famella and Adrian Granados and cats like Samuel Vargas. I like to call that the Pillow Fist Tour. He has been on what I like to call the Pillow Fist Tour because a lot of the cats he's been fighting that's supposed to have been his step-up fights, well, these are soft punches, and that's just keeping it honest. But then again, maybe it's Eddie Hearn carefully selecting the opponents of Conor Benn as he develops and gets better. Most importantly, I think Conor Benn look a little small for the welterweight division. I think he can grow a little bit more into it. I think his power can grow a little better into it. I'm not super convinced. I mean, I know he's got a good knockout ratio. But since he stepped up his level in class, the only cat he knocked out was Samuel Vargas, who's been knocked out by everybody. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, if you rocking with Conor Benn, you'll say that this is a good fight in this progression. Chris Algieri brings a lot of experience. Chris Algieri brings a certain pedigree to the fight. With Chris Algieri, you know he's gonna come in tip-top shape. You know he's gonna come ready to fight. The good thing about Chris Algieri, that's why I got so much respect for him, is he hangs around the sport of boxing. Even when you don't see Chris Algieri fighting in big fights, he's always around boxing. He's just a boxing guy. You know what I mean? We know that he's always helped a lot of fighters with their nutrition and him having a background as a nutritionist. You see him in the corner of many fighters and helping out a lot of fighters. And even in his fights, like he always in tip-top condition. He's always bringing the fight. He's always showing a lot of heart. He's never like gassing out and tiring out and putting out. He's a mobile fighter himself. So him coming in tip-top condition and having the mindset that he got, yo, man, it works out good for him and his style. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. So, Chris Algieri, man, we know he's full of heart. I always go and remember that Ruslan Provodnikov fight when he was in that fight and he fought through everything in that fight. And Ruslan was an extremely war-torn fighter, but he could not put Chris Algieri away. Chris fought on all heart, closed eye. Remember, it was swolled up. He couldn't see out the eye. Slim, he went in there and showed us, and that's when he originally arrived. He showed us what he was really, really made of. And after that, he took those losses to Manny Pacquiao, and he took that loss to Earl Spence Jr. And in both fights, he took him in losses in devastating fashion, slowed him down. He kind of fell back from fighting on top-level fights and kind of went more into his nutrition and stuff. But he still hung around the fight game, getting a fight here and there, and keeping himself active, man. So Chris Algieri, like I say, brings a lot of experience, good boxer, always looking for the angle, very active fighter. Does a lot inside the ring where he gives a lot of activity, which is also a good reason why it's good that he comes in the shape that he does, because he's always looking to do something in the ring, whether he's moving from that angle, moving to this angle, whether he's looking for the opportunity where he jumps in and jumps out, or if he's looking to survive, he's always using mobility to survive. So whether he's trying to lure fighters into certain traps, which he likes to do sometimes, he's always doing something, you know what I mean? And he does a lot of that, and he brings a lot of that experience to the fight. And Conor Benn is going to have to face all that. And this is the thing that fight fans going to want to see. Like, can Conor Benn get in there with a guy on Chris Algieri's boxing level and handle this? And I'd say yes, because this is, like I say, the part of the pillow fisted tool. Chris Algieri got 9 knockouts. This the one big knock that's always hurt Chris Algieri throughout of his career is his lack of power. The fact he can't keep nobody off him. He beat Ruslan Provodnikov. He got enough rounds in the bank, but Ruslan was coming forward and just trying to bring war to him. And Chris, he gets into this having to keep constantly moving, overly defensive, can't stand on nothing type of fight. And that always gets him, in bad positions in the second half of fights. And so in Conor Benn's case, where he's explosive, he fights very explosive, upstairs and downstairs, you know what I mean? He's trying to show the world how strong he is. He's trying to show the world, especially the American fans, that he has knockout power. In his last fight against Adrian Granados, he wanted a war against Granados, but Granados didn't give him that war. Granados actually went in there semi-boxing, and Conor Benn was a little thrown off about it because he was like, I wanted a war. You in here boxing. This is a Mexican fighter in here boxing with me. And to a certain degree, some people saw Adrian Granados have a lot of success boxing against Conor Benn. But Conor, the way he fought in that fight was, I'll let him box, but I'm going to attempt to be the more explosive, harder puncher and hit him with the harder Chris shots and mix it up upstairs, downstairs, and stay on him and stay on the inside of him. And it worked. It wooed enough for the judges to get him the nod in that particular fight. And something like that similar, I believe, can play out like that against Chris Algieri, because Chris can box, and yeah, he can move, and yeah, he can rack a couple rounds in the bank, but he can't stand on nothing, and he won't stand on nothing. And most importantly, Chris get hit up real well to the body, and you can slow him down, and he really ain't got no pop on his shots. And that's not going to stop Conor Benn from coming forward. But the golden question will be, can Chris Algieri get enough rounds in the bank to woo over the judges? Long stretch is going to happen in UK. The fight happening in the UK, Conor's backyard. Good luck with that. They want Conor to be a star over there, Chris. So good luck with that, man. But that's what fight fans are going to have to wonder. Can he get enough rounds in the bank to outbox Conor Benn? I just think that Conor's explosiveness is going to woo the judges more. I think it's harder shots. I think he'll land the harder, cleaner shots. I think Chris will get into that over moving thing where he'll be moving around and just throwing out a jab and flicking a jab and maybe a right hand or every now and again. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that Chris will be able to keep Conor off him. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to woo the judges more, and they're going to reward him more for that style of fighting. So I'm leaning definitely towards Conor Benn. You know what I mean? Plus, like I say, this is the pillow fist tool, man. And so they're going to frame this as a big, huge step up. I mean, I think they could have stepped him up a bit better. Conor Benn, I get it. He's a developing fighter, and Eddie Hearn has been the one publicly, kind of holding him back. I mean, Conor Benn has came out to the world and said, hey, he want names like Shawn Porter. He's mentioned bigger names, but Eddie Hearn has been the one to say, hold on, kid, take it a little bit slower. We're stepping you up in class more and more. Eventually, you're going to get your time, but just keep on doing what you're doing and just keep winning on this level. I honestly think that's the right move from Eddie Hearn if he wants to create the star that he wants Conor Benn to be. Once again, I think Conor got to get a little bit bigger for the welterweights on the top floor. His power got to look more of a sure thing. And I just think that his defense got to get a little bit more tighter also. And Eddie Hearn knows doesn't want to risk putting him in there with a bigger puncher at this present moment, because Conor Benn's defense is just way too leaky right now. You feel me? And they got to get a little bit better. So he's right to hold him back a little bit more. But 19 fights in it is a professional career. A lot of fans might say, man, the time is now. And the crazy thing is, you got this Amir Khan and Kell Brook situation playing out, where Kell Brook out here in the public talking about he signed his end of the deal. Yo, you going to keep on signing, bro. Your pen should have ran out of ink by now. Many times you didn't sign that deal. Khan ain't fighting you, champ. He ain't done. I mean, Khan just keep on making you wait. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if he get it, he get it. If he don't, he don't. I hope he get it, whatever the case may be. But in Kell Brook's case, man, he's not taking the Conor Benn name serious neither. And I think that's something that Kell Brook should consider. I truly do, because in Kell Brook's case, like, if he don't get the Khan fight, right, he can at least get the check. He could charge Eddie Hearn $3 to $5 million for his name on the way out the door and see if Eddie gonna pay it. Be like, look, I'll fight Conor Benn. He fuck around and beat Conor Benn. I would think that Eddie would definitely rather get Amir Khan as opposed to Kell Brook. Amir Khan, we know about his chin issues. Conor Benn can take advantage of that. And we know that Amir Khan, he's another guy who doesn't really like to stand a lot on punches now. So, you know, he can take advantage of that too. And when he does stand on punches is when he normally gets cracking his lights out. So they would probably like Amir Khan to step up first, give them the highlight reel that they're looking for on a name like Amir Khan. And that would do a lot of big things for Conor Benn in the UK. And just around boxing in general. It really would. So maybe Eddie Hearn should lean more in that situation. These are fighters right up under his umbrella. Is if he can't bring together Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. I remember reading a couple articles a couple weeks ago. Eddie Hearn just seemed like he couldn't put that deal together. So to hear Kell Brook come out and talk like he talking today, it's just, I just read just 2 weeks ago, Eddie Hearn like he's just like, forget it. You know what I mean? He threw his hands up basically when it comes to that fight. But as for Conor Benn, what is he saying about this fight? Well, Conor Benn is got some quotes floating around. And according to Conor Benn, he says, and I quote, "Chris has done it all. A former world champion and exactly the opponent that I need to gain experience from." Once again, yeah, the experience word is going to keep on popping up when we talking about Chris Algieri. Once again, he's been in big fights, and he knows what it takes to win on that level of opponent, on that level of a fight. So if Conor Benn beats an opponent like this, I mean, that speaks volumes. You know what I mean? That speaks a lot for him. But to say that Chris Algieri is currently world class, I would disagree. He hasn't fought on that level in quite some time, since the Earl Spence Jr. fight. You know what I'm saying? According to Conor Benn, he also says, and I quote, "We expect Algieri to bring his best, but I want him deep in the trenches with me. I want to use this opportunity to display my skills and abilities against a quality fighter to prepare me and take another step closer to a world title. A former world champ versus a very, very hungry contender. I can't wait." End quote. That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, yeah, Chris Algieri definitely helps him along his path to become a mandatory or a world title holder or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, Chris Algieri ain't really ranked high in a lot of sanctioning bodies. So I don't know. I mean, depending on what happens with a lot of other fighters that's rated above Conor Benn, I don't know how much in the sanctioning bodies will respect the Chris Algieri win, given Algieri, once again, is far removed from the top level and really hasn't beaten really a big name guy in a minute or been in that sort of fight in a minute. Don't know how much they'll reward him for it. But he says he want to take Chris Algieri into the trenches, which I'm thinking that, he want to make it a dog fight. He want to make it a grungy fight, possibly go to the second half of the fight and try to drown Algieri. That's not easy to do. Algieri is in good condition. Algieri can move. So you're going to have to find him. And ain't no telling where he'll be. So you got to be willing to overcome and not get frustrated. Show a lot of mental toughness. You're going to have to find Algieri. But I think once you find him, yeah, you should be able to pile up some punches on him and maybe hit him with some hurting if you are who you say you are. So that's the way he's looking to fight Chris Algieri, at least according to the words of Conor Benn. Now, Chris Algieri, he is saying that, pretty much what we think of him. And he says, and I quote, "It will be a masterclass with me utilizing my deep bag of skills and experience. Ben is hungry and tough, but this is a huge step up in class for him. I'm not coming to show that it's not his time yet." He said, I'm coming to show that it's not his time yet, and I still got the goods in the world. We'll see it once again come fight night. End quote. That's what's up. So he's betting on his skills. His bag of skills is what he calling it. He betting on his skills. I mean, and that's what he brings to the fight. He brings a lot of skills, once again, a lot of boxing ability, a lot of movement, a lot of agility, you know what I mean? A lot of good conditioning. He's athletic as well. He brings a lot of that. Just don't bring power. You're just missing the power. That's all he missing. If he had the power, he'd be good. You know what I mean? I always said if Chris Algieri had some power, hey, he'll be a bad man, shawty. He'll be a bad man. But he never had the power to go along with the style. He got a beautiful style. He has a really good style. Pivots very well, you know what I'm saying? Moves on his feet very, very well. But he just don't got that power. But he's saying he's going to show off his bag of skills. He's going to let his experience do the talking. And I believe him. I think he's going to come and fight to the best of his ability. He's going to test the young pup and see exactly what shawty is really at. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be interesting, man. Real spill. Now, one last thing real quick, fight fans, is, for everyone who wants Conor Benn to step up, I noticed that Conor Benn in his last, 3 or 4 fights or so, he's been rocking with the WBA. Like, the WBA has been the ones kind of orienting those fights. So if I look at the WBA rankings and where Conor Benn sits at right now and who he can possibly fight in the future, well, he ain't got no shortage of names. Now, first off, I heard Eddie Hearn mentioning the name of David Avanesian. And this is something, if y'all recall the video I did with Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz and their timelines to a title, that is the magic man. That is the dude that I said that everyone needs to be trying to go after, given his rankings amongst the sanctioning bodies and where it would place you with a win over David Avanesian. Well, I hear Eddie Hearn speaking him up also for Conor Benn. We'll see if something like that go down. But most importantly, let's see, man. Conor Benn is in a stacked division, especially when we're talking about the WBA. You know what I mean? Now, looking at these boxing rankings, we right here on the WBA's website. Conor Benn is rated right here, number 9. Number 9 in the WBA. As y'all can see at number 8, right? Mario Barrios, which means he made the official move up from 140 pounds to 147. He's just coming off getting defeated by Gervonta Tank Davis, losing his WBA regular title down at 140. And so he's officially looked like he moved up, and they placed him number 8 in the WBA. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, as for Conor Benn, number 9. So Mario Barrios just moving up. I don't think he'll be worried about Barrios right now. Barrios doesn't really give Conor Benn what he'll be looking for in name recognition, nor maybe give him the bump that he really, really wants. You know what I mean? Michael Fox from the DMV. Controversy surrounding his name right now. And on top of that, he's just recently fought on national television. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? Michael Fox has some semi-momentum around the boxing world. A lot of folks in boxing media and content creators covered the Michael Fox situation. So his name is ringing, is known somehow right now. He's rated number 7th. Maybe Conor Benn could consider something like that. You know what I'm saying? Michael Fox will be happily take an international fight with Conor Benn. Gabriel Maestre, the guy that Michael Fox had the controversy with. Don't think he's ready right now. Don't think Gabriel Maestre brings pretty much to the table for a fight with Conor Benn. Jamal James, that's a decent name. That's a very recognizable name amongst American boxing fans. And a good performance against Jamal James right now, who is rated in the top 10 of all the welterweights perhaps, even with his loss with Butiev, you know what I'm saying? But who knows? A lot of fans may still rate him in the top 10 of welterweights. At the end of the day, this will be an interesting fight this will be a good step-up fight, I think, for Conor Benn also. And he's number 5 in the WBA. Of course, Jerome Boots Ennis. Now, if they want the biggest buzz, if you want the most buzz you can find, but it's a high risk. It's a high risk, I will admit. You get in there with Jerome Boots Ennis. This will be a fire fight. Jerome Boots Ennis will love to have an international fight. He'll come to the UK for that. You dig? Jerome Boots Ennis' name is ringing bells right now around boxing. You put this together, Eddie Hearn, you can bet your guy. If he gets through something like this, star. But that's wishful thinking, fight fans. Y'all know how boxing move. And this is just a high risk right now, but it's still a huge fight, and it will set boxing on fire. Jerome Boots Ennis at number 4. Abel Ramos, that's a good step-up fight. Abel Ramos at number 3. That'd be interesting to see if Conor Benn would take something like that. Virgil Ortiz, of course, same way did I say with Jerome Boots Ennis. Virgil Ortiz, one of the hottest young names in boxing right now. A fight between Conor Benn and Virgil Ortiz will be fire. You know what I'm saying? It'll turn him into a star if he get through that. But that's a major threat. You're talking the 2 biggest threats right now, up and coming in the welterweight division. So I don't know. Stanionis has an upcoming fight with Yordenis Ugas. We'll see how that plays out. He's probably a little busy right now. But there's no shortage of names if you really want to step it up, Conor Benn. You really want to step it up and lead the Chris Algieris and the Formellas and the Samuel Vargas alone. If you feel like you've developed, because listening to Conor Benn, he feel like he's ready. If you feeling that way, shawty, you ain't got no short of names that will give you that work, because they will all love a nice international fight. For Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, that would do great for their legacies if they get a win on foreign soil right now. So trust and believe. The opportunities will be there. So we'll see which way he wants to pivot if he makes it through Chris Algieri. Once again, fight fans, if you ask me, I am definitely leaning more towards Conor Benn. I think he'll be the more explosive fighter, the harder puncher. The judges in his own backyard will reward him for such. And I think that Chris Algieri will be reduced to boxing and being defensive, but not doing nearly enough to standing on nearly enough punches to woo the judges. I would be surprised though. I remember what fight was that? Chris Algieri said that he was going to try to come down. He started standing on punches. Was that the Ruslan fight? It was one fight, and damn man, and he linked up and He really wanted to sit on punch. And I thought he became a much better fighter. He didn't have the power to really do it, but I thought he should have kept fighting in that fashion. I would love to see what happens if Chris want to stand on something with this kid. I know this kid is explosive, and maybe Chris can't take the punching, but I think he should try him. I think he should try him. We'll see, man. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Share. Rock those bells, man. Much love to the fam, man. And I catch up with y'all real soon on the live stream. To the next video, fam. Peace out.